MicCHEK is proudly supported by Island Eye Care. Do your eyes itch, water, or burn? Say goodbye to dry eye. Call Island Eye Care today. Vancouver Island, an area of the world that's produced some of the top athletes on the planet, from Steve Nash to Simon Whitfield. Now, those are the names that you know, but they may be outliers. For anyone who chooses pro sports as a career, it is never just a straight line to success. What was the mindset at that point?
For me, honestly, it was just how long can I play hockey? I never really thought about the NHL. I didn't think I was good enough to play in the NHL.
I mean, I was always told, like, you got to go, like, hard every single session, or, like, that's what I felt that I needed to do to, like, be the best. But actually, that was just, like, slowing me down so much and getting me injured. Things can seem so low, and you're out of it. You know, we're 2 games away from winning the Stanley Cup.
On today's show, we meet 2 incredible island athletes in much different stages of their career. One is a top Canadian triathlete who won a World Cup event after some very dark days. The other is Matt Irwin. Born and raised in Brentwood Bay, Matt went on to play almost 500 NHL games. But Matt's story is not one that's often spoken about. Matt played for countless teams in countless cities, and he was in and out of the lineup. Today, we sit down with Matt to talk about the wins, losses, and challenges of being a journeyman defenseman. All right, we're here at the Q Center out in Colwood, and we're here with former NHL'er Matt Irwin, the pride of Brentwood Bay. And now, this is going to be one of your offices, Matt. You're going to be working for the Victoria Grizzlies, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Help out with player development, help out with the kids. You know, they're a lot younger than what I remember, and they're
children.
They're a lot taller than us. So, yeah, they grow them differently these days. Yeah. But I'm excited to just get back in the game a little bit and share some knowledge and some experience with them, and let them pick my brain. They can learn from me. I can learn from them. So
let's talk about some of those resources, just in what you can provide, because I know you've had a long career. You were a journeyman. You've seen how it was done in so many different places and what works and maybe what doesn't. So if you can kind of bring that to them and be that positive change that you'd like to see, are you able to do that with these kids?
I think so. I think the unique part about my career was I didn't stay in one place my whole career. I moved around. I was up and down from the minors. Leaves no room for complacency. Yeah. I always had to go into camp like I was going to make the team. It was always a tryout for me. I never really thought about the NHL. I didn't think I was good enough to play in the NHL. It was always a dream, right. But it was just a dream. I didn't think it was going to be realistic. So just kind of took it step by step. Honestly, you know, from junior B, my next goal was junior A. And then from junior A, I started hearing about this college scholarship thing and kids going on to play in NCAA, and I didn't really know anything about it. So I get up there, that was the next goal. Had a good couple of years at UMass and had the opportunity to sign as a free agent with San Jose.
Yeah, and you're signing there with Worcester?
Yeah, it was
which is still in Massachusetts,
that's not
right?
how you pronounce it.
No, okay, let's do it. Let's do it right. Yeah.
Worcester.
Oh, it's like Worcestershire sauce, right?
Something like
I can't pronounce that either.
Yeah.
So you're playing Worcester on the Sharks.
Worcester, Massachusetts. I got called up. My first call-up story goes as, wake up, have to catch a flight from Albany to New York, which was delayed. So I had to spend the night in New York City and then fly across the country to San Jose to play that night in San Jose. I land in San Jose, or San Francisco, I guess. Yeah. I got a call from the GM. He's like, yeah, we're sending you back down. You have a game tomorrow afternoon in Providence. So I grabbed my bags, walked upstairs, checked in, flew back, played at 3 o'clock the next day in Providence. But you know.
What was that doing to your psyche at that point? Because you believe, I've made it, I'm here, and then it's taken away from you so quickly before it even happens.
Yeah, I mean, the excitement of getting the call up and like that anxiousness and nerves and having that travel day and then, you know, we didn't have Wi-Fi on the plane, or I didn't know how to connect to it anyways. So my phone blew up when I got to San Francisco, and then I didn't even have time to answer any of the texts because I was going back down. So all the texts were like, thank you, I appreciate the support, but we're gonna have to wait for another time.
And did you continue to have that positivity? And I do want to get to your NHL debut in just a second, but before that happened, was it tough to keep that when the phone maybe wasn't ringing and you're putting in a full year or a couple years in the AHL, are you thinking at some point, is this ever going to happen?
I don't know if I ever thought it, is it ever going to happen? You want it to happen sooner than later, but you know that you got to trust the process, I guess is what I'm saying. And, you know, there's not too many guys. There's very few that just step right into the league and, you know, are the player that they know they can be. I just had to stay the course and keep playing the way I was playing, and, you know, just hope for a call.
Yeah, and now that call did come in 2013, early 2013. Yep. What was that moment like? What do you remember about that?
Yeah, that first game in Calgary was pretty special. Being in Canada, parents were able to come out to the game, my sister, some family friends. It's the NHL, so the bright lights, the anthems, you look across Jerome McGinley, you know, you're just like, here we go, you know. And
Did you take a moment to soak it in at that point?
You try to, but your heart's going about 1,000,000 miles an hour, and, you know, once you get that first shift and, you know, you survive that, you're like, okay, maybe I belong here, and just kind of take it shift by shift in your first game and try to not let the heart rate get too high, I guess.
Yeah, and as tough as it is to make it to the NHL, now you have to stay there. And so you are becoming a regular with the San Jose Sharks. You play a couple of seasons there. I know you then eventually go to Boston. Doesn't work out. You go back down to the AHL.
So there was a, you know, not a slap in the face, but a wake-up call, I guess. Hockey wasn't that fun. Yeah. So just kind of grinded through that year in the sense of doing things that I can control, you know.
What got you through that?
The guys on the team, my wife, their belief in me, her belief in me, just knowing that I could get back to being the player I was. Just stayed positive, did what I could, played as well as I could when I played, hoping for another opportunity the following year, and I was lucky enough to get that.
Yeah, and that came in Nashville?
Nashville, yeah.
And so you get to Nashville, and you really sort of find your footing there.
Well, David Poyle, the GM at the time, called me. He's like, his first thing he said, welcome to Nashville, and, you know, the organization. He's like,
here's your cowboy hat.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, are you ready to turn the page? And it kind of sat with me. I was like, that's exactly what I need. I need to just park whatever happened last year, take the good from it, take the bad from it, learning experience, you know, builds a little bit of stronger character, understanding more of the business side of hockey, that nothing is guaranteed. You can be moved at any time. You can be sent down at any time. But him just saying, are you ready to turn the page, allowed me to kind of just park what happened and then just look forward. Played pretty well every game after that. I think it was 76 in that season, which is the most I've ever played in one year. And then that was the year we went on to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, and we obviously lost to Pittsburgh, but yeah, it's just funny how things can seem so low and you're out of it. You know, we're 2 games away from winning the Stanley Cup.
And coming up, we'll go from the rink to the lake, where we chat with Desiree Ridenour, a world-class triathlete who is from Cowichan Bay. And she became the first Canadian in more than a decade to win a World Cup race. But Desiree does things her own way.
There could be 60 girls on the start line, and so you all start at the same time, and it can be very aggressive, lots of
hands and feet going everywhere.
Yeah, you usually get hit or pulled back or potentially drowned.
Today on MicCHEK, we're meeting 2 incredible island athletes who took an unconventional path to success. Desiree Ridenour is a Canadian triathlete from Cowichan Bay. She showed a whole lot of promise as a youngster, but ran into some challenges in her early 20s. From an eating disorder to a number of injuries, Desiree started falling out of love with the sport. But instead of quitting, Desiree went a different direction, and it worked. This year, she became the first Canadian to win a World Cup event in more than a decade. We're here with Canadian triathlete Desiree Ridenour, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
That's good, because I've heard the pronunciation about a million different ways.
No, you got it.
Desiree, they say in triathlon, you gotta train, rain or shine, and you joined us.
In the rain, unfortunately.
I'm sure you've had a lot of days like this of training, right?
Oh, for sure.
Here she comes, Desiree Ridenour.
So in February, you became the first Canadian to win a World Cup event in
Yeah.
12 years,
Yeah.
and you could see the release on your face, like
Yeah.
at the finish line. That was
Yeah.
such a big reaction.
Yeah, it was such a good moment. I kind of wish I got to take it in a bit more, but
Yeah.
you know, it was like a sprint, so you just gotta go full gas to the end. But yeah, I think it was a relief to just be like, oh, like I am good enough and like I can do this and I can have good races. Yeah, and I did a lot of changes in the last couple of years as well, so I think that is just proving that I made the right change or choices. So yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning. So Cowichan Bay, you're an excellent athlete. When did you start falling in love with sports in general and just athletics? Because I'm sure a very young age, right?
I think it was like when I was 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very young. Well, I started like just like paddling in the pool when I was 2, when my sister was training on the swim team. We did family cycling trips across Europe.
Come on.
Yeah, so that was super fun. Then I did my first triathlon when I was 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Do you remember how you did then, or?
I think I won. I don't know.
That's good. We can fact check that, but I'm pretty sure she probably won.
Potentially.
When did you make the decision to go all 3 sports at once?
It's probably when I was about 15.
Okay.
I think that's actually when I had to like quit soccer and
Yeah.
focus more on like triathlon. But I always love running, but I don't think I could give up swimming or biking. So I was like, at least I get the best of
You're like,
both
I want to
worlds.
do all 3.
I want to do all 3, and
Yeah.
this just fits it perfectly.
So for people who may not know what a triathlon consists of, it is a swim, bike, and run, but it's much more than that because it's very high level of all those. Maybe walk us through your triathlon.
Yeah, so basically it can start on like a pontoon or at the beach, and like there could be 60 girls on the start line, and so you all start at the same time, and it can be very aggressive, lots of
Hands and feet
like,
going everywhere.
Yeah, you usually get hit or pulled back or potentially drowned.
Can it get pretty ugly out there?
Yeah.
Lots of pulling and pushing?
Well, I've gotten like 4 concussions.
Oh, yeah.
2 of them were from like open water swims.
And then you jump onto the bike. The transition's such a key part too, right? You got to get that
yeah.
down to like milliseconds.
Oh
right?
yeah, so basically exit the water, go into transition, you quickly drop your cap and goggles, you grab your bike or helmet, bike, and then you're off and you mount, and then you have a 20K bike, and there can be some scary crashes, that's for sure. Drop your bike, your helmet, put your run shoes on, and then you're off for basically just a 5K flat out.
When did you start realizing, okay, I'm taking this from a passion into maybe a profession?
Yeah, I was always a pretty good junior growing up, and I think the coach at the time saw a lot of potential, which was good, but it was also a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Then I just kind of fell into a couple hard years, and I think now I kind of see it as being more of a profession.
Can you walk me through what some of those bad days are like for a young female athlete?
Yeah, so I think probably around in 2020 I started struggling a bit. I think, with body image and being a female, your body changes a lot, and no one really helps you through that and tells you that like it will eventually end, and you just kind of have to roll with it and just let your body need like what it needs to do. There's some body image stuff, some eating disorder that was not severe but lasted longer than I expected. 2021 I got my stress fracture, and then I started so that lasted about at least a year because I couldn't even race that year.
What was that change for you? Because I'm sure it would be, a lot of people's reaction would be, you know what, I need a change of pace. I need to quit and do something different. So what was that motivating factor that kept you going?
Oh, it was actually meeting my partner, Trent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think you need an outside person to kind of tell you like what's happening, because when you're really in it, you can't really see everything wrong with the situation. I moved to New Zealand. I got a new coach and a lot of changes very quickly, but no, it was definitely the right decision.
I was going to ask, do you still love it? But I guess the question would be like, do you love it again? Right? Because I'm sure there were some dark days there.
Yeah, I for sure fell out of love with it. And I think once you come out of those challenging times, I think you do slowly start to fall in love with it more and more. And once having success also helps.
I'm sure.
I do love it again, for sure.
And I'm so happy that you have found that. Do you think that there could be a problem with sort of the culture of sport, maybe in North America, and the way that we try and push people to their limits and it's success or bust?
Yeah, for sure. I think I mean, I was always told like you got to go like hard every single session, or like that's what I felt that I needed to do to like be the best, but actually that was just like slowing me down so much and getting me injured. And so I think, yeah, there needs to be definitely a change of perspective that like it's okay like to do like easy training, and it's actually probably better for you, and it's okay to not be okay.
What would you say to a young Desiree Ridenour who's now getting into this sport and really at the competitive level? What's some advice that you might give her?
Probably that she has time. I think, you know, our sport you can be good from like 16 all the way up to 35. And so I think just don't rush the process. Like your time to shine will happen eventually. And I think, yeah, just take the pressure off yourself and actually like enjoy the process and enjoy different parts of life as well.
BC is a great training ground for a lot of triathletes over the years. Simon Whitfield being the most famous from Victoria, of course, and his success at the Sydney Olympics, which isn't too far from New Zealand, I guess.
He's still like a legacy and you still hear about him, and I think that's quite inspiring.
So you're doing these sprint distances right now and having a lot of success. The Olympic distances are a little bit longer.
Yeah, so an Olympic distance is basically a double sprint. So it's 1,500 meter swim, 40K bike, 10K run. So it lasts
I don't
about...
want to do any of those. But
no, it lasts about 2 hours. So
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Is LA on your radar? I know, you know, Team Canada certainly wants you to, but does Desiree want to focus on that?
Yes, I mean, I'd love to go to the Olympics. It's always been a dream of mine. And so, yeah, I have attempted 2 Olympic distances. They did not go well, but that's okay.
That's all right, because you learn, you build,
learn,
right?
And, you know, I made it farther in the second one than I did in the first one, so that's good. Yeah, and so this fall I have a couple Olympic distances that I'll hopefully be finishing and doing. So yeah, I think that's just the first step into LA.
All right, Desiree, you're going to take me for a little bit of a run, and I'm quite nervous about this because I've never run with a triathlete. What should I keep in mind when I'm training with Des? Just try and keep up?
Just try and keep up. Basically, yeah, I won't run too fast, just 3-minute Ks.
3-minute Ks?
Just kidding, I'm kidding.
All right, I'll be there at the 5.5-minute mark.
Okay, that's good.
Des, all right, shall we go?
Yeah,
let's do it, all right. Game on. So this would be like the lightest pace.
Yeah.
This is before you've even started training.
Yeah, basically, this is my easy pace.
This is my pace.
Yeah.
But if we were running in a triathlon right now,
okay,
give me your triathlete pace.
Right now?
Right now. Okay. I'm full out sprinting. Okay. Thought I was ready. And coming up, we'll come back here to the Q Center and continue our conversation with Matt Irwin and find out how he became Alexander Ovechkin's beer guy.
That was one of my roles that I found to stay on the team, basically. And,
nice.
You know, so I was always making sure that the beers are on ice.
Today on MicCHEK, we've met 2 incredible island athletes who both prove it takes more than hard work to get to the top. In our final segment, we're going to continue our conversation with former NHL'er Matt Irwin. Now, Matt shares a story of how he became the beer guy of the #1 goal scorer in NHL history, Alexander Ovechkin. He also has some pretty valuable advice for any young athletes and parents.
Congratulations on a great career. Where'd you play? It's like, give me a second.
Yeah.
San Jose to Boston, to Providence, to Milwaukee, to Nashville, to Anaheim, to Buffalo, to Washington, Vancouver.
You're going to start to remember them all, yeah.
You know,
you bounce around to a couple spots, but you end up playing in Washington with Alexander Ovechkin, one of the greatest players of all time. Like,
yeah, I mean, still pinch me moment. You shake Ovi's hand and introduce yourself. He knows who I am, and you know you don't expect that, but
right.
And especially where he was at in his career in the goal chase and all that.
I mean, you're on the ice with him, or you're in the game when he beats Gordie Howe's goal record,
which was, I'll never forget that moment. He's obviously super happy and excited, but the cool thing about Ovi is, when I scored a goal, which is very few. He
25.
He is just as excited as if when he, passed Howe or passed Gretzky, like he is like a little kid, and
that's so cool.
It means a lot. I was in charge of getting him his adult beverages on the bus, and that was one of my roles that I found to stay on the team, basically. And,
Nice.
you know, so I was always making sure that the beers are on ice. So there's times I'd be walking. I remember in Tampa Bay, I was walking down with 2 cases in my hand, walking down the street, sweating, just so made sure the big man had his beverages, his protein shakes after the game.
It seems like, you know, you really do appreciate your career. There's not a lot of bitterness, there's not a lot of anger, and there could have been, right? And steps along the way, and I'm frustrated, I'm not playing, or when am I gonna get my shot? But you've been able to stay super positive, and that speaks volumes of the human you are. But
Thank you.
Why do you think that is?
Upbringing. My parents did a really good job, you know, staying in the moment, controlling what you can control.
How proud is your dad? Because you talked about Mike. I remember your dad. He was definitely a tough dad growing up, but he obviously loved you so much and
Yep.
loves you so much.
Yep.
So how proud must he be of where this all?
Yeah, he doesn't show his emotions a lot.
No.
You know, he's a retired police officer, so it kind of came with the territory. But yeah, I mean, towards the end of the career, every father's trip, you know, he's always text me, say to me how proud he was. It means a lot. I mean, it's everything for a kid to hear, right? Like, that just keeps pushing you to do bigger and better things. And same with my mom. It's, you know, they did a lot for me, and, you know, just provided me the opportunity. And that's really all you can, you know, hope for, and you know, with no questions asked. And, you know, as long as you're having fun, as long as you're working hard, as long as you're being a good teammate, we'll continue to support you.
I guess, Matt, like if there is a message for a kid who's showing promise at a young age, or a parent who has a kid who's a promising athlete, what sort of message would you give to them?
I would, it's hard because, you know, the kid has got this vision and these dreams and these goals to make it to the highest level in sport. And I think that's a really great thing.
Yes.
You need those goals. And, you know, if you didn't have those goals, what are you striving to do? You know, less than 1% of kids make it to the highest level in their sport,
Yeah.
NHL being probably that. So the odds are already stacked against you.
Right.
So enjoy the moment, make friends, learn to be a good teammate, have fun. I think that's the biggest thing. And
Yeah.
through hard work, you're gonna have fun, and building that camaraderie with your teammates and your friends, there's really nothing better.
So it seems the message from both Matt and Desiree is that if you're a high-level athlete or the parent of one, make sure to focus on mentality as much as athletic ability. And don't be afraid to chart your own path. But most importantly, never forget that sports are supposed to be fun.